North Carolina was one of the most disappointing teams in 2021. The Tar Heels started the season ranked in the top 10, but finished the season at 6-7. Will they be able to bounce back in 2022? So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys, ready to break down and predict North Carolina's schedule and record for this upcoming college football season. A season that is very, very big for the Tar Heels. They need some redemption. When you take a look at the numbers, guys, brought to you by College Football Encyclopedia, the Tar Heels, yes, the big storyline is they lose Sam Howell. They lose Sam Howell, and that means they're going to be terrible. That's not true. They returned 64% of the production from last year. That is 73rd in the country. The offense last year was 10th nationally, averaging over 35 points per game. Howell was a major reason of that. But they still have two great quarterbacks on the roster that I think can replace him just fine, whether it is Jacolby Criswell or the freshman in Drake Maye. Regardless, whoever is under center, whoever Mack Brown chooses will do just fine, and we'll have one of the top wide receivers in the conference in Josh Downs to throw to, Downs having over 1,300 reception yards just last year. The defense, guys, that's what needs the most work. North Carolina was 94th in the nation defensively last year, and they bring in a veteran coach in Gene Chizik, national championship winning coach at Auburn, and obviously had worked under Mack Brown previously during his time at Texas. He's going to go there and help with that, and should help to improve a secondary that was one of the worst in the conference just last year. When you take a look at the schedule, guys, getting back to a bowl game is feasible. Is North Carolina going to win the Coastal? Are they going to be playoff contenders? Probably not, right? But winning anywhere from 6 to 8 games needs to be the goal for UNC, and that is achievable with this schedule. They open the year with Florida A&M. Should defeat the Rattlers pretty easily. They then go on the road to Appalachian State. That game is going to be tough, all right? App State, UNC lost to them at home just a few years ago. And I think now they're going to lose to them on the road. Chase Bryce returns at quarterback for the Mountaineers, so they've got a veteran quarterback there. They're loaded in the running back core. They're loaded on the offensive line, and the defense returns 6 starters from last year. Factor in the fact that UNC allowed over 180 rushing yards per game. On top of having a pretty poor secondary, I think App State has the offense with home field advantage to take advantage of this, to take advantage of the situation. And I believe they do beat the Tar Heels in the official Week 1. But then UNC bounces back against another Sun Belt team in Georgia State to become 2-1 heading into their first bye week of the year. So, roller coaster first 3 weeks, guys. Only 1 home game, 2 road games at Sun Belt programs. Very odd, and not very often you see that from a Power 5 school, but UNC manages to get 2-1 out of that. They come out of the bye week and things get tough. Come out of the bye week and they host Notre Dame, a team they lost to by 10 last year, 44-34. The question is, can this UNC defense that struggled last year against the run stop Notre Dame's run game and stop a dual threat quarterback in Tyler Buckner? Additionally, on top of that, can UNC's offense, that will be going through some growing pains and obviously is dealing with a brand new quarterback, will they be able to exploit a very strong Notre Dame defense led now by Marcus Freeman, their new head coach, but also a Notre Dame defense that is loaded in the secondary, which obviously is something that that North Carolina wants to do. North Carolina wants to throw. The Fighting Irish intend on not letting anybody do that. I think North Carolina drops this game to the Fighting Irish, guys. Yes, they're coming off a week of rest. Yes, they get to host this game, but I think across the board, Notre Dame is in a much better spot than the Tar Heels, and they will show that on September 24th. They stay at home, though, guys, and take on Virginia Tech. Last year, we knew something was up with North Carolina because they fell to Virginia Tech in the season opener 17-10. They were a top 10 team to start, lost to Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, and things just started going downhill from there. Revenge will be on the mind of the Tar Heels on October 1st. It absolutely will be. And they will defeat the Hokies in Chapel Hill. I believe North Carolina definitely has the better offense in this game. Virginia Tech going to be struggling on that side of the ball. And while the Hokies might own the edge on the defensive side of the ball, Mack Brown owns the edge over Brent Pry in the coaching area. And I believe that he is going to do everything in his power and will make the adjustments necessary to take care of Virginia Tech here. Major win for North Carolina in terms of their bowl hopes. They're going to get it done at home on October 1st. They then travel on the road to Miami. They will fall to the Hurricanes here. This is another game where North Carolina's secondary is going to be tested drastically. Tyler Van Dyke is one of the best quarterbacks, not just in the ACC, but in the country, and he proved that in less than a season as the starter for the Hurricanes. UNC now has to go on the road to face Miami. Again, a game they won last year 45-42, but a Miami team that has improved drastically offensively, has improved drastically from a discipline standpoint under Mario Cristobal, and a defense that might not be great, but is going to do just enough to slow down this UNC offense. With home field advantage, give me the Hurricanes. Again, a team that's going to have a major uptick in 2022, major improvement in 2022. UNC drops that game, and so far this season, they have alternated wins and losses. So after a loss to Miami, they beat Duke. No need to touch on that game. Duke had the worst defense in the nation last year, and while these games are so much fun to watch in basketball, maybe not so much in football. They beat Duke. They come out of a bye week, though, and take on Pittsburgh. This is another huge game, guys. UNC, coming off that bye week, well-rested, hosting the Panthers, the reigning ACC champions, a team that UNC only fell to last year, 30-23 in overtime. Obviously, a lot has changed for both teams here. Sam Howell is gone for UNC. Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison are gone for Pittsburgh. I'm going to go out on a limb here, guys, and say that UNC actually upsets the Panthers in Chapel Hill. I think having that week of rest is huge. I think the secondary for North Carolina gets better every single week and will be able to force a turnover or two off of Keaton Slovis. This Pittsburgh offense is still going to be good, but they're not going to be nearly as good as they were last year. And I think that UNC defense is just enough to slow them down. I think they're able to bottle up the Pittsburgh run game as well. I think the whole week of rest to prepare for the Panthers is going to be huge for Mack Brown and the Tar Heels. I think at home, knowing they need this win, knowing they're tired of alternating wins and losses, they get the win over the Panthers. They do get the win over the Panthers in a series that we've seen some classic matchups in recent years. They then go on the road to take on Virginia. The Tar Heels beat the Cavaliers by 20 last year, 59-39. And my argument here, guys, is look, if UNC's defense wasn't great last year. It was not great. But if they can beat Virginia and that offense by 20 last year, they can do it again this year as the Tar Heels continue to improve and Virginia is now going through a head coaching change. The offense for the Cavaliers will still be electric. Brennan Armstrong, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But UNC will go on the road and take them down because of the strength and the improvement of their defense. Because we know Virginia definitely doesn't have one. So just like that, guys, they've alternated. They've now won 3 straight games. Duke, Pittsburgh, Virginia. They're looking good, and they're going bowling. Let's say that. They're going bowling. 6 wins already. They go on the road to take on Wake Forest, and they will not beat the Demon Deacons this year. I would put good money on that. Last year, Wake Forest was undefeated when they faced off against UNC. The Demon Deacons blew an 18-point lead. 18-point lead. And North Carolina ultimately won that game 58-55, beaten by a field goal. Wake Forest, with revenge on their mind, with one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Sam Hartman, with home field advantage, will not slip up to UNC. It's just not going to happen this year. So UNC drops that game. They defeat Georgia Tech. Yes, they lost to the Yellow Jackets 45-22 last year, but this is a Georgia Tech team that's going to be one of the worst in the conference this year. Not much talent there and not much improvement there. UNC, revenge on their mind and hosting the game, will defeat the Yellow Jackets. So now they've reached 7 wins, and now they go to stay at home and take on NC State in a game that the Tar Heels should have won last year. The Tar Heels should have beat the Wolfpack last year, but blew the game in the final minutes, losing 34-30. This game's going to be close. And I really, really could see the Tar Heels winning this game, especially if NC State loses the week prior, overlooking them down on their luck. But I think at this point in the season, NC State guys might be fighting for a, who knows, ACC title berth. Could be fighting for a playoff berth. Or at the very least, will be fighting for a New Year's Six bowl berth. All those things will come to an end if they lose to UNC. I don't think Dave Derwin allows that to happen. I think the Wolfpack come on the road and in a close game take down the Tar Heels, and Mack Brown's squad finishes 7-5. Some will be disappointed with that, but for me, I would say after last year's disappointment, improving on the win total, having a shot at 8 wins if you can win your bowl game, that's a pretty dang good success. And not that it's any shock to anybody, but Mack Brown continues to win and continues to improve and rebuild this UNC football program. He continues to do a great job in Chapel Hill, and we're going to see that once again in 2022. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Make sure to sign up for those today. Become a part of our GE Nation today. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.